Hi guys, Richard here. This is a dry erase board you're looking at. I'm making a response video to a viewer named Ian who asked me a really interesting question. He asked if I would make a video about how to shim a set neck guitar. And I kind of wanted to go over exactly what a set neck guitar is, how it works, and if it's even possible to shim it. So there's basically two types of set neck. Commonplace set neck, okay? The PRS type, which is getting more and more common all the time. You're going to have to forgive my drawing here. This is a really lame fretboard with the worst frets in the world. Okay? And basically, the joint comes in like this. It's like a shelf. Right, like that, and then the neck would come off the guitar, swoop into the actual neck under the fingerboard there, like that. So your glue areas are there, there's a lot of them. So you have this side, that edge right there, and the bottom. This top part is normally where the pickup goes, where your neck pickup goes. So that's basically a PRS style set neck. If you had to shim this, you would want to take, a piece of wood and build in a little shim on the bottom, if you absolutely needed to, along these two axes, and you would lift the whole neck forward. Of course, this could be angled if you wanted it to, if you were trying to adjust the angle. And I think it would be possible to accurately shim a neck like that. It'd be a huge pain in the butt, and it would change where the heel of the neck right there, it would change where that is in relation to the back of the guitar. So that may feel different, but I think that would be possible. Now, a more traditional style set neck is going to be what you could call your Gibson-style set neck. Okay, so again, let's do a crappy fretboard. Let's make it cracked down here because it's Gibson, so we'll make it broken at the end. We'll make this neck broken right there. And it comes in, the neck comes up to the guitar, and instead of, so like this would be where the actual guitar body crosses, and there's a little heel in there, kind of like on an acoustic guitar. So it's kind of hard to see in this drawing. So you don't have a full-on giant face like this. So if you were looking straight at the tail, right at the bottom of the fretboard where it connects to the body, you wouldn't see a big square open space. You would see this somewhat V shape that curves like that. And some of them are a little more straight, some of them will curve a little more. And then where the actual neck touches the body, it would be squared off against the body or rounded off depending on the body's shape. But right under the fretboard, so this is the fretboard, this is where it crosses the body, this is the neck coming off to the broken spot back here. This little heel, this tongue, goes all the way up with the fretboard extension that goes onto the body. And it's just this heel that comes in like this. And so you see this area is so curved that your glue, your glue joint is one large curve, so that makes it gives it more surface area to glue to, so it's a strong joint. But to shim it, you would have to have a shim in here. You would have to shim this whole curve, and this is a multi-angle curve. It's a continuously changing axis almost, and you would have to shim up the bottom of the fretboard as well. So you can see how that is basically impossible to shim without rebuilding the entire heel and adding mass to the bottom of the fretboard. So in a more classically built guitar like a Gibson, there's really no way to shim it or adjust the break angle of the neck without rebuilding the entire joint. There's not much you can do if you have this style. And he specifically referenced old Gibson ripoff style. Like he said he often finds problems with the old Japanese lawsuit copies and things, problems with their neck and things like that. And he was wondering, could you shim a set neck? Well, first you have to steam the neck off, and that's a huge pain in the butt. And to be honest, I've done that just a couple times, and each time it was that Gibson-style, and that's it's not fun. It takes a while. You got to drill some holes. You got to pump some steam in there, and then it eventually breaks and scares the hell out of you. I mean, it doesn't break, but it snaps off. You know what I'm saying? Okay, so what can you do if you have one of these tongue styles? If you take your fretboard, if the problem is that your bridge is bottomed out and your strings are still too high and you want to bring the fretboard up closer to the strings, I would start with the frets. So let's say you're looking at the side of your neck. Alright, here's your fretboard. And it's, you know, again, let's go Gibson. So the neck's broken. So you're looking at the side of your neck. Here's where it joins the body. Fretboard extension goes over the body. There's your little tonguey groovy thing. So you're not going to worry about shimming it. What we're going to do, if these are your frets, and again, this is not at all to scale. Take it with a grain of salt, please. You can actually pull these frets down here, pull those out, put slightly higher frets in, right? And then ramp a negative angle down to where these frets are a little bit higher at the end to compensate for that bad neck angle. You kind of have to have a really good feel for fret leveling and know what you're doing. But the gist of it is, your fretboard doesn't change, but the angle of your frets changes, and that'll give you a couple thousandths of an inch higher, a little bit closer to the strings, if that's, you know, if that's something you want it to do. Honestly, I would work on the bridge side of it, bring it down as low as I could, and depending on the instrument, you could even notch out the saddles a little bit and round those back over, and that would be a better option than trying to shim this up with a, you know, without completely rebuilding the whole neck joint. I'm not going to say no, you can't shim a set neck. I would say there's a couple different kinds. Some are going to be relatively easy to shim. Some are not. This type of set neck, your standard vintage Gibson style, I wouldn't mess with it. I would not shim it. The PRS style, if you absolutely had to, yeah, you could shim it. It's just, it's a whole lot of effort to rip off a neck of a set neck guitar and try to shim it when there's other options first. I would consider the bridge. I'd consider the nut height. I would consider the angle on the neck, like as far as the truss rod. I'd consider leveling frets and adding larger frets first before I would ever consider shimming one of these. Alright, so sorry that got a little long-winded, guys. I appreciate you watching. And I hope that you got a little bit of info out of this thing. And I might do some more whiteboard videos because I think they're kind of cool. I can't draw for crap, but I think you guys kind of got the picture. So thanks again, and I will see you next time. Ian, I hope this helped you out, man. I really appreciate your question. If anybody else has any questions, feel free to hit me up. Thanks, guys. I'll see you later.